What's up, you guys? It's James from James's Reptiles. Today, well, first off, yesterday, I missed yesterday's video. I just wanted to relax and spend time with my girlfriend. She's just getting over some sick, so we did that. I've got good news and I've got bad news. First off, the bad news. I'll start with the bad news. That way, the good news kind of picks it back up in mood. Unfortunately, I did have a baby gecko pass away yesterday. I know exactly why. It was an error on my fault, but I was trying to test something. I had my second ever baby that I hatched fellow. He was growing his bulge. You could tell he was a male at that point. And I had this other gecko in with it. It was a little bit smaller. And I had never kept a male with something else if they weren't breeding. And I said, you know what, he's not breeding size, and I don't know what sex this other one's going to end up being. I'm just going to leave him in and see what happens. And one day I said, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to take those two apart. He's getting a little bit bigger. I don't think this one's eating as well. It just kind of looked like, it kind of seemed like one was dominating the other. Not in an aggressive sense, but in an eating sense. And that's exactly what was happening, because when I said that, I went in the next day to move him, and the baby was passed away. I think what happened is it just wasn't getting the nutrients. It stayed the same size as it had been, while fellow grew, and it was extremely unfortunate. It was a baby I personally really liked. It was bright orange. I'll throw a picture of it on screen for you. But I had another one set aside, and I was going to hopefully get a pair because they were unrelated and have a nice little orange line. But now I'm missing the one that was brighter orange, so I'm at a loss. You know, what do I do with that? Do I sell the other orange one, or do I keep it and wait? It's hard to say. I'll probably end up keeping it because I have a baby that should be fairly red, and I know that's not the same, but it is what it is. It's not the same. It's never going to be the same. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. It's really the only baby I've ever lost. I think that is the only baby I've ever lost. But on the brighter side, this girl right here was given to me by my buddy Tommy. He gave me Tegan, and this is Sarah. Tegan laid me a clutch of eggs. What was it? The 10th, November 10th. And this girl just laid a clutch this month, yesterday actually. So I am fairly certain the male is my male. As with Tegan, it probably wasn't. But this one is definitely my male. And I can't wait to see what those babies look like, because she's very faint pattern. She's almost like a, not even buckskin. It's like this is probably what they would look like in the wild. Maybe a little bit browner, but it's just so bland, and it would just blend in with the trees so well. If you've ever seen New Caledonia, it's almost flat with just a bunch of trees, and the geckos just hop from tree to tree and catch bugs and eat fruit, and bigger geckos eat the littler geckos of different species and stuff like that. And nevertheless, Tommy told me one of the females were producing bad eggs, and he didn't know which one because he housed them together. I separated the two. I watched Tegan lay a pair of eggs, so I know it was her who laid the first clutch. And I watched her lay the second pair of eggs, so I know it was her who laid them. And they both look fertile. I will say that Sarah's, if either of them were to go bad, Sarah's would, just because they look a little bit off color. And when I candled them, the embryo, the little red Cheerio is what you're looking for, just wasn't quite as bright as I would like it to be. It was just a little bit duller. It took me just a second to find it. And basically what you do is, once you find the embryo, you put a flashlight up to it, or your phone flashlight up to the egg, and you find the embryo, you turn it around, and you put the embryo up top. Now, the reason we do this is, a lot of people don't know actually, but studies have shown that if you put the embryo up top, your hatch rates go up a little bit. I think it's around 10% better hatch rates. Whereas I've heard, if you leave it rotated, whichever way the female puts it, you're more likely to have larger babies. But your hatch rate goes down a little bit. And larger babies is good. I wouldn't say better. It's good because they come out bigger, they are healthier, they usually eat faster, and they tend to grow bigger. But if you put the embryo up, facing up, you're more likely just to have more babies in general. So take that information, do with it what you will in your own breedings, but that's my good news, bad news for the day. All right, so that's gonna be it for today. It's really not a lot. Get out of that light for you. I was gonna show you guys some snake feedings, but nothing wanted to eat off the tongue, so I definitely have to go back and check later and make sure nothing gets left over, because unfortunately if something gets left over, you never want anything left over, because if it's left over, the snake doesn't eat it, it'll just start to rot, and in a couple days you'll wonder what that smell is. That's really it for today. I was just looking at my roach colony. I don't know if I told you guys, but I've got a spider herpstat, some kind of herpstat over there. I got at my local herp society raffle. The raffle actually is really cool. It's $1 a ticket, and everyone wins no matter what. They just keep calling you till everyone gets something, and there's just always stuff on the table because everyone donates little stuff, and it's awesome. But anyway, I got that herpstat. It cost me literally like $1 or like a couple of dollars, however many tickets I bought that day. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened. It was really cold at some point, and it must have malfunctioned or kicked off or something. But it went down. I came in, and I was wondering why my roaches weren't producing very well. It had been like a week. I swore I checked it, but I guess not. It was sitting at like 64, which is freezing. That's colder than the house. So it was just basically a room temperature because it was just not letting it go below 64. And unfortunately, I didn't notice it soon enough, but lucky for me, it didn't kick up. A lot of cheaper stuff kicks up, and it'll just heat up all the way, and the probe will die. In terms of like the herpstats and the helixes and all the more expensive equipment, it kicks down. So I'd rather, and these are roaches. Well, there's 2 ball pythons, but for the most part, it's roaches. In any case, you want it to kick down rather than up. If you have a leopard gecko that's supposed to be at 90 and it's at 60, you know what? It's fine. It'll bounce back. It won't be a problem. If you have a leopard gecko that's supposed to be at 90 and it's at 140, it's gonna burn, and it's probably gonna die. All the water's gonna evaporate. The gecko's just not gonna do well. The snake, whatever it is, it's not gonna do well. It's you want, and this just shows you why you need expensive equipment. It's not always just like, oh, it's expensive for no reason. In the reptile community, everyone breeds and makes money and makes it into a business. And when we do that, we don't just buy expensive stuff for no reason. We buy the stuff that works. So it's expensive for a reason. It's not just because it's a name brand. It's not nothing. It's expensive because it works and it does the job well. And all that. I know I started with the jumpstart, the seed germinating thermostats. I started with one of those. Actually, I had 2 of them. And I slowly as soon as I started selling geckos, I said, this is the first thing I want to switch out before I get more geckos, before I get more racks, before I do anything. I want to switch these out because I didn't trust them. They weren't accurate. The temperatures fluctuated way too much, and I never worked out well for me. So I switched them out. I bought a used helix, and I got that. And as soon as I sell a lily white or something like that, I want to switch them out for something even nicer. Like a brand new helix. I'll probably keep that helix, but as I go down the road, more helixes. I like the helixes. They're simple. We use them at work, and I understand them, and they're very, very nice. But anyway, that's going to really wrap up today's video. There's not much else going on. Tomorrow, I will be feeding the scorpions, hopefully, if I remember. That's it. I'll just be feeding the scorpions tomorrow. If there's anything you guys want to see, if you want, I'll probably check up on some. What I need to do is I need to check on the corn snakes. I need to change their water too. And I'll talk about that more in tomorrow's video about brumation and what to do and how to do it and all that good stuff. I'll go into detail about that tomorrow. But today, it's the evening. Well, you're going to see this video tomorrow. For me, it's the evening. We're going to go grocery shopping. Got to go to Target for a couple things. Of course, Target, you always get more than you need. I got to go put air in my tires and enjoy my evening. Gonna make some chili, and I really can't wait for that. Nevertheless, I'm James from James Reptiles. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that really helps out the channel. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, jamesreptiles@gmail.com if you have any questions. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.